Hello and welcome to another English class. This is a very important class. As you can see, I'm wearing the same clothes as the previous video because it's only 1 hour after I recorded that one. Because while I was doing that video, past simple and past continuous, I mentioned that it's very important to be able to pronounce regular verbs in the past, okay? So I thought, well, I can do this quite quickly and then record another video. I don't know when I'm going to put this video out. Maybe I'll just put it out tomorrow as I would normally do, but it's already done because I was motivated to do it. Now, there are 3 categories for regular verb pronunciation in the past, okay? The first category is when the infinitive verb ends with a voiced sound, that means from the throat, like play, wave, change, alter, live, dry, apply, borrow, brag, rob. All of the sounds at the end were voiced. They came from the throat. Whereas if it's unvoiced at the end, we use a different sound, a slightly different sound. Fix, unvoiced. Talk, unvoiced. Help, promise, reduce, slice, finish, astonish, trip, slip, stop. The last sound of those verbs is unvoiced. So for voiced endings, we add I said D here. It's like it's slightly like a T, but it's more subtle. It's like, whereas T is T, so something like that, okay? So we have to pronounce the infinitive completely first, and then we pronounce the sound at the end. So don't just say, for example, chained, it's changed, changed, okay? You infinitive first, change, completely, changed. And the line indicates the past. For example, ed is the normal regular verb past. But if the verb already ends with an e, like these, you only add a d. If it doesn't, you add ed. So all the lines tell you what you add to the infinitive, okay? Very clear. ed, 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 d, 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 ed, ed. Now this one's slightly different. ed all down here and d all down here for this one. I had extra space, so I thought, let's give them a treat. Right, let's get down to it. Infinitive plus that subtle T sort of t sound. Okay? Changed, waved, altered, played, lived, dried, applied, borrowed, bragged, robbed. It's subtle, but if you don't pronounce it, it's grammatically wrong. Grammatically wrong. It's not correct. People will still understand you most of the time. They might not understand 100%, but if you're doing an exam or if you want to have a very good level of English, this is very important, okay? I hear lots of people from other countries speaking English and they don't pronounce the past correctly. We understand what they're talking about in context, but it's really, if you're doing an exam or if you want to speak really well, then this is so important. I just said that, I know. Okay, changed, waved. Wave is like this, or waving a flag. Okay, back and forwards. It's back and forwards, the motion. Altered. Alter is more metaphorical, but the meaning is like change, okay? And by the way, you'll also notice I put, oh dear, here we go. I added stress marks. Stress mark tells us where we emphasize the pronunciation. Above the A, changed. Above the A, waved. Above the A, here, altered, played, lived, dried, applied, borrowed, bragged, robbed, okay? Played, you know what that means, lived, and as you can see again, remember, ed, that's what we add, but here we only add d because live ends with an e, wave ends with an e, change ends with an e, so the past ending, you add a d only, because you already have the e there. You don't have another e. All right, now here, you can see that it's IED, but the infinitive is Y. When it's consonant I, the Y becomes I. This becomes I because there's a consonant before. Here, no, because before the Y, it's an A. So we don't change the Y. Stayed, played, enjoyed, they don't change because the sound, the letter before Y is a vowel. So we don't change it to I if it's vowel plus Y. If it's consonant plus Y, the Y becomes I. If it's consonant plus Y, the Y becomes I. Didn't I? Okay, and that's not a real song, by the way. Could be. No, it's rubbish. So if the you understand? If Y is preceded by a consonant, Y becomes I. If Y is preceded by a vowel, see that? I'm a cat. Cat reflexes. If the Y is preceded by a vowel, it doesn't change. If the Y is preceded by a consonant, it becomes I. For past simple, okay? And also for comparatives and superlatives, I believe. Yes. I'm going to have to think about that. Okay, but I'm just focusing on this, not falling. Borrowed. Borrow is the temporary action of taking. So, can I borrow your pen? Not can you borrow me your pen. You don't say can you take me your pen, because borrow is the temporary verb of take. Can I borrow your pen? He borrowed my pen. Okay? And here we double the consonant. I'm going to do another video about doubling consonants. When it's one syllable in this case, and it's at the last two letters are a vowel and a consonant, or the last three, consonant, vowel, consonant, then we double the consonant, like here. Same thing. We'll do a class on that, though, a video on that, so I don't want to go into detail because I don't want to confuse you further. Bragged. Bragged is like, oh, my thing is amazing. My girlfriend is so beautiful. My car is the best car in the world. In Spanish, it's fanfarronear or presumir, I suppose is more common. I love that verb in Spanish. Fanfarronear. Que fanfarron. Robbed. Rob is, it's very closely related to steal, but rob is related to where you take it from. A place or a person. You rob a bank, you rob a person, you steal money, you steal a wallet, you steal a jacket, okay? So you rob a place or a person, you steal something that you take. I stole this pen. I didn't really steal this pen, obviously, it's my pen. I bought it. Okay, that's that category. When the infinitive ends with a voiced sound, we add a subtle sound, okay? Changed, waved, altered, played, lived, dried, applied, borrowed, bragged, robbed. This is the infinitive ends with an unvoiced sound, so we add a T, a very clear T sound. Fixed, talked, helped, promised, reduced, sliced, finished, astonished, tripped, slipped, stopped. Okay? We add ED if the verb has no E on the end, and we add D if the verb ends with an E, okay? Because we don't have EED, although some words do. This is not the rule here. Finish ends with an H, we add ED. Slice ends with an E, we add D. Okay, you always have ED, but sometimes E is part of the infinitive. And there's the stress marks. Fixed, talked. Remember to pronounce the infinitive completely. Fixed, talked, helped, promised, reduced, sliced, finished, astonished, tripped, slipped, stopped. There we go. Double the consonant for these ones. We'll do a video about that, don't worry. And this one is the easiest. This is when the infinitive ends with a T or D sound, because if you're ending with a T or D sound, then there will be no difference between the infinitive and the past, and we must have a difference between the past and the infinitive, otherwise people won't know what you're talking about. Well, They might, but it wouldn't be correct. And then we add id, because obviously to separate the T and the D, you need a vowel. To separate the D and the D, we need a vowel. Alerted. Actually, I'm pronouncing that to show you how it's pronounced, but the stress marks are all here. You can see them. All of these. Now, some people might say, well, hang on a second. Decide ends with an E. Yes, of course. But the last sound of the infinitive is a D. It's a very sonic language, English. So remember that. This is categories where the infinitive ends with D or T. This is where it ends with an E, but the last sound is D or T. Okay? T, D, T, 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 D, T, T, D. Now they end with E here, but the last sound is D, T, D, T, D, D, T, 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 T. Alerted. See the stress mark? Alerted, needed, tested, visited, wanted, presented, intended, started, counted, exceeded, decided, tasted, collided, invited, divided, provided, deleted, investigated, activated, dictated. And if you want to know the meaning of these, then you can see the infinitive is until the line. So alert, it ends with a T. Decide, it ends with an E. So if you want to check the meaning of these verbs, go ahead. I'm not going to do that now because that's not really the purpose of this video. So there you go. Regular verb pronunciation in the past. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Leave a like. That's very, very nice, very kind. I appreciate that. Leave a comment if you want to ask me any questions, if you have any doubts, or if you want me to do a video about something, please let me know, and I will try, of course. Eventually I will, but it might not be immediately. And share this if you know someone who's learning English and this could help them. So thank you very much for watching. Have a lovely day, and I'll see you again soon for the next video. Bye bye.